Hiya, and welcome back to Rain Check, the game that teaches us that we're always going to be checking the rain. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Mr. Kitty Cat himself, exactly. We love him. It's me, Lawrence. Lawrence? What the hell is he doing here? Out of everyone, he's definitely the last person I would have imagined to visit. I rechecked the spy hole, this time spotting Lawrence's distinct shirt and frame. The one and only. Now, if you don't mind opening the door, it's a bit stale out here. I opened the door just enough to get a good look at the wolf. Lawrence, what are you doing here? How did you even find me? There's obvious shock in my voice, which Lawrence picks up on and dismisses with a wave of his paw. Don't worry about small details like that. I came looking for you because I'm worried about you. I nod, trying to figure out Lawrence's intent for being here. Worried? What do you mean? How are you feeling, Theodore? Okay. I stare at the wolf scrumptiously before he shakes his head and sighs. I don't know what you've heard about me from the others, but I'm genuinely worried about you. Working at ARC is a never-ending task, and I've been busy up until now. Visiting you is my first priority. I was wondering if you wanted to have a small chat. Right. Pressing matters? What the heck is he talking about? My mind races awkwardly, trying to think of a particular reason Lawrence could be here, but coming up short. Maybe he's telling the truth? I should give him the benefit of the doubt. He was the one to save Rue, after all. Guess not. Judging by your face, I take it you don't want me to be around. I'll be taking my leave. Wait, Lawrence! Come in. I'm sorry. Today's been really messed up. You don't need to explain. You must be going through a lot. Trying to search down the snow leopard and all. Yeah, it's been a mess. I let the wolf in, and he strolls straight to the window before seating himself down. He motions to the sky, shaking his head disappointingly. How are you holding up? I'm sure you're exhausted. I let out a sigh, unsure of how to explain myself best. I am. I don't blame you. You've had a long day. I heard what happened from Javier. You two had some sort of dispute? Yeah. He told me you wanted to figure out what happened to Rue, track down who was responsible for the shooting, am I correct? Yeah. You know, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can figure it out on my own. I thought I could, but I was just being stupid. Elaborate. The snow leopard, I was trying to track them down. Just doesn't make any sense, and who was driving that car? How could they just blindly fire at us like that? Was this all just a coincidence? Ah, yes, that night. I nod, trying my best to repress the memory as best as I can. I understand, it must have been an extremely traumatic experience. It's best you forget all about it. Then, as that's also why I'm here. What do you mean? Theodore. His tone is serious but firm as he stares directly at me. Do you want to go home?
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
Bitch! I tilt my head, failing to understand a sudden question. What do you mean? What I mean is, I'll handle everything else from here. There's no need to put yourself at risk. Meaning? I understand your dilemma. Why don't I help you? I'll find the shooter responsible and wrap up this case once and for all. I furrow my brows in confusion, a sense of skepticism brewing as I remember it was Lawrence who told Javier to switch tasks. But I thought you guys were trying to track down the survivor. Didn't you tell Javier to focus on that? That's the reason he was so dead set on finding the survivor, right? Initially, we had no leads on the survivor's whereabouts, but yes, you are correct. Once they were tracked down, I reassigned the task of locating them to Javier. It was my idea to swap tasks with the fox, since it would be more convenient for all of us. Huh, that's weird. Did Javier mention this earlier? Theodore, how old are you? 20, 21? Huh? I'm 23. Why? You're in your prime. You should enjoy it and not be stuck with these bureaucratic and esoteric investigations. What I wish to have your free time again. Listen, Theodore, the reason I inquire is due to a protest scheduled for tomorrow. It will obstruct major sections in the city, including the airport. It'll be virtually impossible for you to go home in your current situation. Wait, what? Protests? What are they protesting, and who? Is this related to the elections that are happening? Did something happen? In short, yes, the very same one with Castleton. I'm sure you've heard or seen some form of his influence since you've arrived. The general public isn't very content with the fact that he's trying to run again. But those are the same people that fail to realize Castleton's been the main driving force in creating revenue for the city. It's quite ironic, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I guess. But then, can't I just take the next flight after that? He leans in closer and extends out his phone to me. You would think so, but rather than explaining, why don't you see for yourself? According to insider information I've received, there will be a boycott at the airport for a week starting tomorrow morning. Shit. He passes his phone to me, and I study the screen carefully. It's a group chat that appears to include government officials all discussing an upcoming boycott. Tomorrow at 7, we'll start the protests at the government sectors, and then we'll all do a walkout. We'll storm the downtown core later in the afternoon and make our way to City Hall. There's more discussions that I scroll past, and that's when I realize just how long the chat history is. Whoa, they've been planning this for months now. Chat history is so long. How'd you manage to get added to this group chat? Connections, Theodore. Connections. It's not just the airport, mind you. Dozens of government-funded sectors will be participating in the widespread boycotts and protests due to Castleton. Missing a flight is fine, but a whole week? Where would I even stay? Oh, what should I do then? If you want to go home, I can book you for the last flight tonight, right before the city implodes on itself. My eyes suddenly widen at Lawrence's generous offer. Is this even the same wolf from earlier this week? What's the catch? There's no catch. We've only met for a short time, but consider it an act of goodwill. I thank you. I don't know what to say. My mind suddenly goes back to Rue, and I feel my expression tighten. Why the long face? What's wrong? You don't look too happy about my offer. That's not that. If that's not it, then... If I had to take a guess, is this related to Rue? Am I correct? Yeah, if I leave tonight, then I won't be able to say goodbye to him. But of course, that is true. He did save your life. I suppose it's only normal for you to feel this way. It's okay, I guess, since I already said my goodbyes to him earlier, but still. Are you sure there's no other way? He doesn't say anything, instead looking out at the window towards the blackened night sky. Lawrence? Terrible weather we've been having, wouldn't you agree? Huh? I guess so. It's a shame, but that's how things go. Weather can be so unpredictable. Such is the nature of a chaotic system. He waits for me to respond, but I just stare back, not sure what to say. Are you familiar with chaos theory? Chaos theory? I think I've heard about it in passing, but I probably need a refresher. Why? Chaos theory. Study systems that appear random but follow precise rules. These systems are extremely sensitive to initial conditions, often referred to as the butterfly effect. Small changes in the starting point can lead to vastly different outcomes. Despite seeming unpredictable, their behavior is determined by these initial conditions, making long-term predictions difficult. Just like the weather. Right, I think I get it, but why bring this up? I believe every decision we make has an impact, regardless of how big or small it may appear. All the decisions we've made led us up to this point. Right now, tensions are high in the city. You feel it too, don't you? The weather, the riots, the civil unrest, the gangs. Something catastrophic is about to happen, and I'd rather not have you caught up in the middle of it all. One wrong move, and well, who knows? He shrugs and chuckles before recomposing himself. That's the point I'm trying to make. You need to leave as soon as possible. Thus, I'm sure I don't need me to tell you this, but it's dangerous here, Theodore. There's that word again. Dangerous. Ever since I've gotten involved, I've heard that word being thrown at me left and right. Maybe it's finally time I listen. I know. Yeah, I understand. You're right. Glad you hear reason. Honestly, I feel sorry for the other convention goers that are here. They won't know the hell that's about to happen. So what exactly is going to happen? Why is it going to be catastrophic? Take my word for it, Theodore. Given the current certain circumstances, this is more than just a hunch. Lawrence takes back his phone and tabs a couple of buttons before nodding at me. Regardless, which one is your flight? Wolf shows me tomorrow's flight schedule, in which I point out mine in the middle of them all. Continues to tap a few more buttons before pocketing his phone. All set. You're booked for the last flight tonight. Just like that? But what about the flight I booked? You won't need it anymore. Lawrence strokes his chin and then frowns. But I assume you lack any means of transportation to the airport. Yeah, I don't. I suspected as much. Fortunately, I had anticipated this and arranged for the limo to be here. That is to say, I can have you sent to the airport should you desire. Are you sure you've already done so much for me? I am sure. Think nothing of it. Then that would be perfect. Thank you. I don't know what to say. He chuckles and clasps his paws together. Your flight will be in 5 hours, but I suggest we leave now unless you have something to take care of. No, there's nothing left for me to do. I think I've done enough. Perfect. Pack up your belongings. I'll inform my chauffeur that we'll be down momentarily. Has Lawrence always been like this? Maybe he acts differently when he's alone versus when he's around Rue? It does feel a bit fishy, but I can't seem to figure out what ulterior motive he would have for warning me and helping me go home. Maybe he really is being genuine? Walk over and grab my suitcase and bag. All set. Most of my stuff is already packed. Splendid. Let's be on our way then. I check out of the hotel, then we make our way down to the driveway in silence, with Lawrence leading us to a long black limo idling at the curb. After you. He walks over, opening the door for me, signaling me to step inside as he takes my things and heads to the trunk. I nervously inch myself inside, trying not to step on any of the fancy leather. Feel free to make yourself comfortable. Sure. I've never been in something like this before. He sits behind the driver's seat, positioning himself directly at me. The limo starts to move, but I can barely see anything through the tinted windows. The ride is quiet, with the gray wolf occasionally bouncing his attention between me and the phone in his lap. A sigh escapes me as I realize I'll be heading back to my normal life. This is happening, huh? What's the matter, Theodore? Why the tears? Look up at Lawrence, and that's when I feel a sense of wetness on my cheeks. I let out an awkward laugh, surprised that I'm actually tearing up. It's nothing, I swear. It just feels strange to be leaving like this with how things ended up. I understand how you feel, but it's for the best. You wouldn't want to be trapped here for another week, do you? Especially when things are about to get chaotic. Getting the sense that Lawrence doesn't know how to handle situations like this with grace. I nod in agreement, although it's not like I have much choice at this point. This whole vacation was a mess. Maybe it's a good thing that Lawrence showed up when he did. The car eventually stops after what felt like a long and drawn-out silent 30 minutes. We're here, finally at last. We both exit, and I see Lawrence's chauffeur, a small white tiger, slowly unloading my belongings. They notice me staring and give me a devious smile before returning inside. Here, take this. He extends a small black plastic card, which I carefully examine. Looks like some kind of membership club with the airlines. Show this when you check, and you'll have no issues getting back home, especially when you're in first class. First class? Lawrence, you honestly didn't have to. How much did it even cost? I don't have that kind of money to repay you. Nonsense. You don't owe me a thing. I told you before. I'm doing this because I want to. The price isn't the issue here. It's just to ensure as long as you have a safe and comfortable flight back. And first class was the only available spot left, but I digress. Thank you. I'm speechless right now. Despite what I thought of Lawrence, he isn't that bad of a guy after all. Though he wasn't like this before. I wonder what caused the sudden change of heart. Lawrence, if you don't mind me asking, when you talked with Javier earlier, what did you guys talk about specifically when you were over? Nothing interesting. Debriefing and reconnecting on the investigation. You know how these things go by now. Right, so how did you know I was trying to look for the snow leopard then? Ah, yes. Javier told me about that afterwards, hence why I came looking for you. I nod, a frown slowly forming again. Right. But didn't Javier mention his phone was broken or something? Both turn around to see Lawrence's chauffeur waving him over. I'd love to stay and chat, but as you know, airports demand promptness. I really must be going now. I can't afford to idle here for too long, even at this late hour. Safe travels, Theodore. It was a pleasure meeting you. The wolf gives me a light pat on the shoulder before slipping back inside the car. We are in the fucking. This is the fucking. We are in the fucking, my friends. It's a little too calm. Shit's about to go down. That is the fucking. Where things are a little too calm, and you know some shit is about to go down, and then shit finally goes down. Hence, the fucking. Like, ah yes, the fucking. We are absolutely going to die. I watch as the sleek black limo glides away, vanishing down the road. Slowly, I turn around to face the familiar airport where I had arrived just a week ago. Well, I let out a sigh, feeling a whirlwind of emotions, but I managed to maintain my composure. I guess it's time to go home. Day 7. Of all the places the survivor could be, it had to be the cliffs. Oh god, we're in Javier's perspective. Fucking Javier. One look at this miserable place and it's clear why no one lives here anymore. I can see the shoreline not too far from where I am. Several of the apartments built along there have collapsed and crumbled into the ocean. It's more surprising that anyone still lives here. Being here in person, I guess the rumors were true. How unfortunate. This fog certainly doesn't help add to the creepy atmosphere here either. I continue to tread down the dark, barren streets carefully, only stopping when I spot a particular landmark through the dense fog. Thankfully, the place I'm scouting is far from the shore, so everything should be stable. The faster I wrap up this case, the faster I can visit Rue.
Looks like I'm here.
Grabbing the photo in my pocket, I compare it to the building in front of me. Shut the fuck up, Javier. No one cares. It's hard to make out the details, but the silhouette matches almost perfectly.
No doubt about it.
Get in and get out. I don't want to stay here for too long. I don't know how many squatters and crackheads are around. I take out my phone that I'd thankfully fixed and turn on the voice memo.
I've just arrived at the cliffs. It's 6:04 and there doesn't appear to be any signs of people, which I was expecting. Making my way to the point of interest now.
I turn around, my body on high alert at the sound. Instead of waiting for another sound, I dash across the street towards the apartment. Now that I'm closer, there are particular dark stains splattered across the entrance, with one of the glass doors completely shattered. This doesn't bode well. I step closer, just enough to spot the resident listings barely hanging on in the entranceway. All the names have been either crossed out or removed, all but one. HF401. The inner entrance door has been bolted shut with several rusted chains wrapping the handles.
Entrance is barred off. We'll find another way inside.
I slowly make my way out and walk the perimeter of the building, searching for any potential way in. Paranoid, I check my bit flipper again. There's still no readings. In fact, this is the lowest amount of activity I've ever measured. There's practically nothing happening around. I turn around and swear I spot a large, dark figure disappearing around a corner. Despite how quiet and abandoned this neighborhood is, there are definitely still people living here. I better pick up the pace. Quietly, I grab the taser from my pocket and continue walking, picking up speed as I turn the corner. Eventually, I make my way to the back of the building and spot a set of rusted doors propped up with a brick.
How wonderful.
I try to calm my nerves, but it's hard when Rue's not around in a place like this. Well, I mean, maybe if you weren't a... Javier, maybe if you weren't a stupid fuck, you'd have Theodore. But no, you had to be a bitch. So, I'm glad that you're alone. Peering through the door, I aim my phone's flashlight inside, immediately cringing when I spot a long set of moldy stairs leading up to God knows where.
Some sort of fire escape, huh?
I bite the bullet, slowly traversing up the stairs, making sure to cover my nose along the way. Gonna need to steam clean my entire body when I get back. The filth in here is revolting. Step by step, I trudge up the stairs, periodically stopping to catch my breath. Oh, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. After a few moments, I reach the 4th floor, immediately noticing the 4th floor hallway door seemingly broken and torn from its hinges. This is where HF is staying, the only person left in this apartment. I peek into the hallway. It's trashed and dark, except for a few patches of working lights illuminating the mess.
You've got to be kidding me.
Just as I decide to walk down the hall, I stop in my tracks and spot a door at the back slowly opening. I take cover, but notice a small old gray fox walking out with a cane, chuckling as she quickly hobbles over. Don't think I don't see you there. Don't think I don't see you there. Step out and nod at the old lady, still gripping tight to the taser in my paw. Oh my, what's a handsome young man doing in a place like this?
I'm looking for someone.
Not me, I take it, because I haven't had visitors in ages. Now that she's in front of me, she looks extremely out of place with the rest of the place here. She doesn't have any burn marks on her arms and looks nothing like the photo Lawrence gave me. Son, I think you got the wrong town. No one lives here except for me.
No one at all?
No one. Not even those apartments by the shore. Not the houses by the plantation. She continues to drone on, listing what I can only assume are places where people used to live nearby.
And what about you then? What are you doing here, if I may ask?
It's awfully quiet here, but that's what I like. She frowns and sighs. But I can't leave. I don't have anywhere else to go, so I stay here and look after Mittens.
Mittens?
Mittens. The fox doesn't elaborate. I can only assume she's talking about some kind of pet. She gives an eerie smile, too wide for her face, causing me to recoil in disgust. But where are my manners? My name is Helen.
Javier.
Her face lights up like she remembers something and nods. What a lovely name. I used to know someone named Javier. Actually, there was someone I saw the other day.
They have a burn mark on their arm?
She tilts her head and ponders for a moment before nodding. Was it a burn mark? It could be. It was most certainly a scar. I nod, slowly trying to digest everything, holding myself back from asking her too much about her situation. She looks around and then motions me back to her place. Well, Javier, would you like to come inside? It will be a much better place to talk than out here in the hall. Odd that she would notice me at the end of the hallway, step out and invite me on such short notice, but I guess living alone in a place like this warrants some company. Javier, even though I fucking hate you, Javier, even though I hate you, don't go in there. You will die. Odd that she would notice me at the end of the hallway, step out and invite me on such short notice, but I guess living alone in a place like this warrants some company.
Okay, if it's no bother for you.
God fucking damn it, Javier. Nonsense. It's a bit messy, though, so I hope you don't mind. We stroll down the hallway. That's when I notice the doors to the other units are either battered and torn down or barricaded and barred shut. Just what happened here? Javier, you're gonna die. You're gonna die, Javier. I hope you know that. You're gonna die. He's gonna die. He is not going to live. There's a pungent scent of chemicals that instantly hits me as I enter the door and move into the living room. It has a scent unlike anything I've ever experienced before. Sorry about the scent. I had done some cleaning earlier. Mittens made a mess. Please make yourself at home. I seat myself on an old tattered sofa and look around. Everything seems normal, which is strange when I think about how decayed the rest of the building is. There's a small old-fashioned TV in the corner covered in dust, the static masking whatever is playing underneath. I look back and see the old lady staring at me. Are you hungry? I have some biscuits in the fridge.
I'm okay, thank you.
What about some tea?
That won't be necessary. I'm wondering if you could tell me more about the person you saw yesterday.
Ah, yes, the person. The odd-looking fella. They were scampering around outside. Don't tell me this was the person you were looking for.
They are.
Then I'm sad to say they didn't stay here long. I saw them headed over to the... What was I supposed to say again? She scratches her head, murmuring something to herself as she blinks idly at me. Just give me a second, Sonny. I need to take a look at something. She limps over to the back, disappearing behind a large door. That was odd. Now that it's silent, a faint hum drones in the background, causing me to search for the noise. Reflexively, I grab tightly onto my taser, still concealed in my pocket. Scanning the room until I spot the fridge in the kitchen, the source of the noise. Huh? I stare at the rumbling machine, noticing a piece of paper with red markings and scratches on it. I get up, walking over to examine the note. Make up Lisley the fox on distract him, payment will be made. Make up Lisley the fox on distract him? What is this supposed to mean? I'm about to take a photo of the paper when I hear a door slowly creak open. Expecting it to be the old lady, I jump when I see a pair of red eyes slowly form, watching me through the shadows behind a large black door.
Ma'am?
I stand there surprised, looking around the room, waiting for the old lady to return. I'll be right there. I forgot to take my medication.
Is there someone else staying with you?
Oh, did you see Mittens? He's quite shy, but he means no harm. What the hell is Mittens? He's huge!
Mittens?
It's time to drink water.
My voice is quiet as a stare at
It's
the
time
shadow,
to drink
trying to get
water.
a better view of Mittens. That was not the
It's
response
time
I was
to drink
expecting.
water.
Sensing that I might be in danger, my eyes dart between
It's
Mittens
time
and
to
the
drink
exit as
water.
I slowly back away.
Ma'am, something came up and I'll be leaving now.
I heard some unnatural shuffling in the back, causing me to hasten my steps. Leaving so soon? Just give me a second. I can give you some snacks before you leave.
That won't be necessary, thank you.
Just as I'm about to open the door, I spot another piece of paper with the same red scribbles lodged haphazardly in the knife rack. I look over and see the black door sliding open. A large barbaric feline glares me down. His fur is covered in stripes, scars, and stains, wearing nothing but some tattered shorts. Stay. He's definitely on something. You should listen to Mittens. He's very hard to control when he's angry. Turn to see the old lady next to Mittens pointing some kind of object at me. I quickly snatch the paper and sprint out the door as fast as I can, sparing no time to look back at the freaks. I need to get out of here. I'm only a couple steps out of the door until there's a sudden jerk of my arm causing me to stumble backwards and land on my back. Stay! Mittens attempts to pick me up, his large paws nearly missing me, but I manage to jab my taser at their shin at the last second. The beast loses balance, thankfully falling to the ground. I scramble up and dash towards the stairs, practically leaping down the steps as I try to escape, only slowing when Mittens' stomps fade away. The fog is even denser now. I can barely see anything in front of me. Nearly out of breath, I push myself to sprint the rest of the way to my car, glancing back every second to see if I'm being followed. What the hell is wrong with those people? What the hell is going on? After what seems like an eternity of jogging, a surge of joy overwhelms me as I finally spot my car through the dense fog. I stumble in and immediately lock the doors and stare at the paper in my paw, completely out of breath. Deal with him if he gets suspicious. I crumple it and toss it aside, confused and terrified. Fuck, I need answers. Lawrence! What the hell is going on? Out of breath, I fumble with my phone and call Lawrence. A proxy network connection goes through and I hear the line pick up.
Lawrence? What the hell is going on? Who's that old lady and what are these notes? You know something about this, don't you?
I panic as the line remains silent.
Say something, I know you're there.
The call disconnects, leaving me staring at my phone in confusion and anger. Try to call back, but the proxy refuses to establish a connection. What did that note say again? Something about dealing with the fox? Does this mean I've been set up? I ponder at the ramifications, and then suddenly my mind connects the dots. The speakeasy, Lawrence told us to go there, and that's where the shooting occurred. He's always mentioned about getting info from the boss directly, but I wasn't able to contact them. Not to mention the glaring inconsistency in his urgency for me to find the survivor here.
Damn it, Lawrence, what are you planning?
My paws struggle to dial the office as the pain from the altercation slowly catches up with me. After some strained effort, I manage. The line rings for some time, but it eventually leads to voicemail. Shit, it's still too early for anyone to be at work. I need to get away, I'm not safe here. Heart sinks when I suddenly remember Theodore. I have to warn him, and as there's no telling what the hell Lawrence has planned. I reached out Theodore's proxy contact, but stopped, remembering his phone was destroyed.
I need to warn him.
My paws frantically across my body, trying to calm myself down as I start the car with trembling paws. As I drive off, I swear I catch a glimpse of that abomination lurking in the fog through the rearview mirror. Limping out of the elevator, my entire body sore from the earlier scuffle, the pain finally catches up to me. Until I can clear my suspicions of Lawrence, it's best to stay away from him for now. I shake my head, trying to clear my mind from what happened earlier. Since it's still early in the morning, there's a high chance Theodore is still in his room sleeping. Spotting room 2708, I knock as firmly as I can with my forearms.
Theodore, are you there? This is Javier. You need to listen to me. I suspect something is up with Lawrence. He's been acting extremely suspicious and is only...
The door slowly swings open, revealing a barely awake beaver peeking out the crack. Can I help you?
Is this not Theodore's room?
Theodore, there's no Theodore here, man. Confused, I double-check the room number before turning my attention back to the beaver. It's definitely the right one.
Sorry, I must have the wrong room.
They yawn loudly and shut the door, leaving me scratching my head.
Did Theodore already check out? But that shouldn't be the case. His flight isn't until tomorrow morning.
Unless something happened to him that caused him to check out early and leave. I need more information. Things aren't adding up. I waste no time walking back to the elevators. Maybe I can gain some insight by seeing when he checked out. Doesn't take long for me to extract the details from the front desk using some of the oldest tricks in the book. According to the staff, he checked out last night but was staying at room 6206. It wouldn't make any sense unless Theodore made a room change yesterday evening at the latest. Theodore must have had a good reason to go to a new room, but I can only speculate. Maybe he thought he was in danger of being followed? Then why request a new room only to leave the same day? Unless something serious happened to him. I might learn something from checking out room 6206 myself. Maybe I should go back and question that beaver.
Where could you have went, Theodore?
Huh? I shut my phone, and as if on cue, I see a new text from an unknown number. We have Theodore. Red Salted Harbor, no funny business. 1 hour. Time is ticking. I scan around the room in a panic as my stomach drops as my mind races to process the best course of action. It's highly likely that whoever this is could be trying to lead me into some sort of trap. I could technically drive back and attempt to trace a call, but that's cutting it close on time. Especially if Theodore's actually in danger. This is the sort of thing I'd warned him about, if only he'd listened to me. But the thought of abandoning Rue and now Theodore fills me with overwhelming guilt. I shouldn't have been such a stickler. Try to reply back asking for more information, but the message fails to deliver.
What to do? Shit.
I I have no choice. Once I decide to follow my gut, setting aside my usual reliance on logic and rules and head for the harbor. I can't believe I'm putting my life at risk here. Theodore, you better be okay. Red Salted Harbor. This is where the chemical fire happened 2 years ago. Ironic that I would be here under these circumstances. I slowly pull up just outside the entrance, realizing I only have a few minutes left until the hour. I've gotten here sooner if there wasn't a protest blocking the traffic. There's just enough time to prepare and scan the area with the bit flipper. Nothing. From the looks of it, the harbor appears inactive as the ports seem closed. Where is everyone? The clouds are gray and it looks like it's about to rain any minute now. I open the glove compartment and take out my emergency flare gun, dazzler, and taser, which I store inside my coat. The coast looks relatively clear, so I decide to turn back on my car and carefully drive inside the harbor. There's nobody in sight. In fact, there's not much here besides a few shipping containers, some warehouse buildings, and some construction cranes. It's quiet. Too quiet. Taking out my phone, I see another message from another unknown number. We see you. Drive inside building 3. There's a small warehouse straight ahead off in the distance with the loading gates open. I shake my head at the absurdity of the situation.
There's no way I'm going inside there.
I'm getting the hell out of here. There's no way this isn't a trap. Sharp popping sounds pierce the air, followed by the crash of shattering glass behind me as I start to turn the car around. I duck, the sound of gunfire ringing out as I try to make sense of everything. The shots continue to ring out, and I do my best to take cover. There's a brief pause, and I take this opportunity to steal a glance behind, noticing the rear window completely blown out. Panic surges as I wrestle with the steering wheel, but it's locked, the car barely responding. Shit, the tires are popped. I try to peer over my seat to identify the attacker, but the harbor is filled with too many potential hiding spots. I cower below the wheel, weighing my options as precious seconds pass. Waiting out the onslaught seems impractical. I don't know how long they'll keep firing for. I need to take my chance with the car and just go. I stomp on the gas, feeling the car lunge forward as my head's still below, unable to see properly. The car shakes violently and struggles to accelerate as I try to steer it away from the approaching building, but it remains unresponsive. Shit! I've failed to brake in time, and a sudden force sends me forward as the car collides with the wall. My body jolts forward into the wheel, but miraculously I avoid any injuries to myself. Disoriented, I struggle to turn off the car as I notice black, nauseous fumes slowly pour in from the cracks of the dashboard. No, this is bad. I have no choice. I need to leave the car. I need to escape. There's a small alleyway just around the corner. I can probably run over if I'm fast enough. I need a distraction. I draw out the flare gun from my pocket, gripping it tightly as I realize this is my only attempt. In a split-second decision, I burst open the door and fire the flare in the direction of the gunfire, hoping to distract whoever's pursuing me and sprint towards the alleyway. I can feel my legs strain and ache after a few steps, already feeling exhausted and worn out. I try to push through, but the pain becomes unbearable, causing my legs to lock up, my lower body refusing to cooperate. Shit! I fall flat forward, my legs cramping up, already spent from the earlier encounter, my strength fading fast. Desperately, I painfully crawl around the corner and hide behind a wall. Hang on. As I lean back, a sharp, piercing pain shoots through my right arm, and I notice a large gash, blood seeping into my fur. Each breath is a struggle as I try to calm myself, my arms shaking with pain and fear at the sight of my own blood. No. I look down at the blood seeping from my arm. Following the trail with my eyes, I realize it leads all the way from my car to where I'm hiding. Sudden realization hits me. My plan had been for nothing. I rummage through my pockets and as a last resort call the police, praying they can trace my location. Carefully dial the number and toss my now bloodied phone into a crevice, hoping it's enough to conceal it. I wince in pain as I press down on the injury, trying to slow the bleeding and give myself a chance to hide. Trying to control my shaking, I slowly crawl along the edge of the building, but my arms start to give out. Shit, I can't escape without leaving a trail. I need to hide. I glance ahead looking for an exit but realize I'm trapped. The dock ends abruptly above dark, churning water. Even though Rue taught me to swim, I'm not sure I can stay afloat in my current condition. My options are grim. A few scattered shipping crates that offer some cover but poor hiding spots, or a perilous plunge into the ocean. Desperation grips me as I hear my pursuer closing in. I muster every ounce of courage to stand, using the wall for support as I inch painfully across the building, slipping behind a crate. Oh, shit! It's not long before I hear steps approaching around the corner. Well, well, well. The trail ends here. Why don't you come out, Javier? Let's have a little chat. That voice, it can't be. I know you're back here. You can't hide from Rudy. That bastard. I should have known all this time it was him. I can't peek to check, but he's almost definitely wearing those glasses now. Reach in my pocket and take out my bit flipper, frantically inputting commands with one paw. Only have one chance. Not behind that one, huh? Not this one either. Shit, he's getting closer. I can hear he's practically right behind me. There you are. I am the bit flipper behind me, hoping to cause Lawrence's glasses to malfunction and seize up. What in the... I reach into my jacket and twist the limiter off the dazzler, tossing it into the crate as I shut my eyes. There, you wretch! I get up and attempt to tase Lawrence, only to realize he's further back than I had originally thought. Shit, I miscalculated. Thankfully, he should still be blind. I've only got a few more moments before the... I yell out as a sharp pain courses through me, the force pushing me to the ground. Shit, I've been shot in the hip. Got him. Who's that voice? Another person? If only I could see from this angle. Good.
Lawrence, what the hell's going on? Where's Theodore?
I yell at, my voice echoing in the empty dock. Lawrence scoffs back at me, his figure just a shadowy silhouette from where I'm laying. Please, and here I thought you had it all figured out. His voice drips with sarcasm, sending a chill down my spine. I've been working for ARC. I've never been working for ARC, not even for a second. As for the tiger, who knows? I have to commend you, Javier. I was hoping to send you to the sending you to the cliffs would throw you off my tracks, but I guess that's your own fault for being so cunning, huh? I grit my teeth in anger, trying my best to manage the pain in my rising fury.
What are you, the chief, from doing this?
I don't need to tell you a thing, but since you're going to die, I might as well.
Die?
I panic, attempting to get up, but the pain in my hip is too debilitating. This is just protocol, you know too much, but I like to call it payback for ruining my meeting with Magnus. He's over here. Good shot.
Don't tell me you were the one to fire at Rue, too.
Me? No. It was thanks to my partner here, although I guess you can't see him with how pathetic you are lying on the ground. Wait. Magnus is evil? Hold up. Hold up. This is just protocol, but I like to call it payback for ruining my meeting with Magnus. He's over here. Good shot. Oh, never mind. I don't know. Me? No, it was thanks to my partner here, although I guess you can't see him with how pathetic you are lying on the ground. Here's someone else moving in the shadows, their presence a looming threat. Rue wasn't the main target. Blackout's chief intel officer was. Although don't take this personally, it's just part of the job. Kairos, dispose of him. Thudding footsteps echo heavily behind me. Suddenly a powerful grip clamps down on my legs.
No, let go of me! Help! Someone help!
His grip is unyielding, dragging me across the rough ground. Every movement sends sharp, intense pain through my shot leg. Try to resist to break free, but it's useless as all the strength in my body is spent.
Can't do this, Lawrence, please!
Yes, I can. Good night, Javier. I feel myself being pulled to the edge. The sound of waves crashing below grows louder. My heart races, fear gripping my chest as the realization sets in. No, please! Kairos remains silent, his presence a shadow looming over me. With the final ruthless heave, he throws me over the harbor's edge. I'm weightless and then I plummet, the wind rushing past me, the ocean's roar deafening. The cold, turbulent water engulfs me, shock coursing through my body. I fight to stay afloat, but the pain in my leg and the weight of my clothes drag me under. Salt water burns my eyes and fills my mouth, making it impossible to breathe. This is the end for me. I thrash desperately, the surface growing further away, the light above dimming as the clouds darken. My vision blurs, the world fading into darkness. Lawrence, you traitor! My body grows weak and I feel myself slowly descend further and further. Last thing I see is the surface far above, the first raindrops breaking through. Okay, that's fast. Hold up. Oh shit, there's more? Theodore, could you shut the windows upstairs? There's a storm approaching. Okay. I stare out into the dark clouds and think back to my trip to TAI. I always get these thoughts whenever there's a storm, don't I? But this time, it feels a lot heavier. A deep sigh escapes me. How long has it been now? Almost a year now? Part of me feels like it never happened at all with how surreal it was. But I know it happened. I still have the scars to show for it. I still think about Rue from time to time. Usually it's about how he gave me a chance to prove myself or how down-to-earth and charming he was. But that always leads to dark thoughts. I ruined his life. Oh shit, hiya. Javier hates me. Everything went wrong. In the end, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it was Lawrence that was there for me. Who's gonna tell him? Ironic too, but it is what it is. There's always been something bothering me about that night, though. Lawrence. The night when he came to visit me, something just felt off. He was right about the riots and protesting. The news wouldn't stop talking about it for weeks, even here. But something just felt strange. Maybe that's because I felt so out of place in the first place. But I don't know what this all meant, but like Lawrence said, it's probably best if I forgot it all. I let out a sigh and shake my head, trying to hold back a tear. I guess you were right, Javier. I really still am just a kid. I have so much more to learn. Oh, shit. Hey, yo. God damn. Yeah, obviously we gotta read the extra story. We obviously have to. Yeah, no, you cooked. I will say this, though. Javier, I have respect for you now. I actually have some respect for you now. No, cause here's the thing. Even though I fucking hate Javier, he did not deserve to die like that. Javier did not deserve to die like that. I'm sorry for jinxing it. No, he absolutely did not deserve to die like that. And yeah, he was just doing his job, but he didn't have to be a bitch about it. Anyways. Hang on. Let me look at settings. Just to check something that I'm curious about. Oh, shit. Oh, no! I just said he's probably going to die. Or some shit, I can't remember what I said. Alright. Well. Let's go to extras. I think it's, yeah, archive. There's the Halloween special, which we already fucking read. And the first case.
I'm just about there. See you soon.
Line disconnects as I maneuver the car across the busy intersection. Eventually, I turn into the familiar side street and find parking just across from Dust's building. It's that time of year again. I hope Dust doesn't need me to move too many things. I'm still recovering from last year's ordeal.
I'm here.
I look around but don't see Dust behind his usual counter.
He must be in the back.
There's a bunch of boxes and items scattered across the cafe, haphazardly blocking my path.
Hey, Dust, where are you?
I hear faint shuffling in the back, causing me to turn towards the sound. I'll be right there. I'm just organizing some stock in the back at the moment. Make yourself comfy in the meanwhile.
Ugh, okay.
I carefully navigate through all this junk splayed out and hop onto my usual seat at the bar counter. I tap my paws on the counter, waiting for Dust to appear from the staff door and start his tax returns for the year. I have no idea why he insisted on cleaning up the same week we scheduled to do his taxes. Oh, what's this? There are a few faded photos scattered along the countertop that catch my eye. Reach over to examine them, realizing immediately that they were old photos of Dust's cafe when he had just purchased the lot. It's been more than a decade now. I flip through the rest of the pile and see one with Dust ruin me inside this cafe. When was this taken? I look so stupid in this image. I'm tempted to pocket and burn this, but I won't. Hey, I see you found the photos. I was going to surprise you with them. Dust comes up from behind and places a stack of boxes beside me.
Well, you should have done a better job of hiding these.
Fair. Need me to make you your regular?
Sure.
Dust turns to the machinery lined up against the wall and brews a cup of coffee for me as I continue to stare at the photo in my paw.
Hey, Dust. Do you remember when this photo was taken?
That one? I'm not sure. Give me a second. I wave the photo, trying to get Dust's attention as he grinds the beans in the machine. Should be around 2 years ago, along with everything else in the pile. They were all in a gray folder that was inside a cabinet in the back. Here. He walks over with my freshly brewed coffee and stares at the photo in my paw carefully. This photo. You really don't remember?
Of course I remember. Give me a second to collect my thoughts.
You forgot, haven't you? I stare at the steaming coffee in front of me, trying to buy time as I desperately try to recall the memory.
I wouldn't say I forgot. It feels more like I'm trying to recall a repressed memory. Probably has something to do with how stupid I look in this photo. Why am I covered in a blanket and sneezing?
You don't look so bad. You look the same as you do now.
Hey!
You know what I mean. He takes the photo from my paw and studies it even more carefully. This photo. That security camera took this, remember? He points to a small camera mounted by the wall across from us. This was the day you introduced me to work of your coworker, Rue. I concentrate harder on the coffee in front of me, staring at my murky reflection as it's still too hot to drink from. It's all slowly coming back to me. I stare at the coffee on my desk and roll my eyes at the mountain of paperwork that's piled up.
Oh, why aren't these all digitized? What year are we living in?
I down the cup and sift through the documents, trying to separate the accounts receivable in one neat pile. Should be able to go through at least half of this pile before lunch with the script I managed to write. The documents begin being processed, and the script makes quick work in organizing the data onto the spreadsheet, which I pride myself on coming up with. As I sift through the documents again, I spot a large canine standing by my cubicle, tapping his paws on the walls and watching me work. Javier? I squint my eyes, surprised by his presence. I don't think I've seen them before.
Yes, can I help you?
Good, I got the right person. I'm Rue. He extends out his large paw, forcing me to angle myself over my desk to shake awkwardly.
Hello, Ruth. This is about your paycheck. I was reassigned that task. You should speak with the payroll team. I know there have been some issues that was on our system, but...
Not payroll. Andrew told me you could help me with the case I'm working on. I cock a brow at him, shaking my head in confusion.
Is this field work? I'm an accountant. I don't do that.
That isn't what the boss told me. He said you have a knack for tech, for lack of better words. He also told me you took the aptitude test for fun and aced it.
Are we that low in resources that we've resorted to using staff like me?
Alright, if you're not interested, I'll let Andrew know.
Well, wait, I didn't say I wasn't interested. I was just surprised I'm needed for this kind of stuff. What exactly do you need me to do?
We got something of a foul play case. ARC C609. You know anything about that kind of stuff?
Not off the top of my head. Give me a second to pull it up in the system.
I enter the necessary credentials and quickly skim over the information on the case. No need here. The wolf tosses a folder of papers and files neatly tucked away on my desk. This is what I've managed to gather so far. It's more detailed than the crap in the database so far, mostly because I haven't had time to update it. I peruse through the folder, noting the particularity of the case.
How sad. If I'm reading this correctly, we're being hired to get information on a particular death. The client suspects foul play in their partner's death, am I correct?
Yes, the victim's a 40-year-old red panda named Michael, who was apparently off to visit an old friend, which turned out to be an ex. Michael was found dead in his garage due to carbon monoxide poisoning shortly after, and it was ruled as suicide. What's strange is that he had a substantial amount of substances in his system, but he had a history of substance abuse before, which I guess the coroners ignored.
Do we know what kind of substance it was?
There were a few, but the highest detected one was morphine.
Morphine? How'd he get his paws on that?
I'm not sure, but I did most of the initial investigation already, and I've managed to pinpoint where Michael's ex, Grant, lived, a large mansion complex to the north. And that's where you come in.
I'll be needing your help. This place is riddled with surveillance. So I'm going...
Wait. Wrong voice. I'll be needing your help. This place is riddled with surveillance. So I'm going to need you to distract the cameras while we figure out which room the client's partner died in. I raise a brow at the wolf, skeptical of how foolproof his plan is.
Right, and suppose we do find this room. You're not thinking of just breaking in and gathering evidence, are you?
What? What's with that look? You got any better ideas?
Ugh, we can discuss the specifics on it right there, I guess. When do we have to head out? I was thinking I could finish...
Now. I'll be waiting for you in the parking lot.
What? Now? Why is it so last minute?
It's exactly because it was so last minute that you were assigned. I stare at the remaining unfiled documents on my desk and sigh deeply.
Fine, just give me a second to get some things.
Now to Javier with Rue's voice, that'd be so cursed. I stare nervously at my pause as Rue speeds down the freeway. Every bump and turn makes me grip the seat tighter, anxiety clawing at my mind. Why did I agree to this? I cast the occasional glance over at the wolf, surprised at how he's able to fit himself in such a vehicle with his large size. It's been quiet since we left the office, with our only exchanges being brief and work-related. Hey.
Yes?
How long have you been working at ARC? I don't think I've seen you around.
Just a couple of months now.
I see. It's been the same for me.
Right.
You're awfully quiet. You nervous going on your first case?
No, I'm not. I'm thinking about the paperwork I need to finish when I get back. Also, will I be required to exert myself? Because I prefer not to if I have the choice.
That depends on what you mean. That depends on what you mean by exert.
I'm trying to say is that I think I should leave the laborious tasks to you since you seem to be more fitted for that.
You got a medical condition or something?
Something like that.
Can you run at least?
Yes, but not for long. It's exhausting.
The conversation naturally dies down and the awkward silence returns. Not that I mind it. The drive continues before Rue decides to speak up again. So, how long have you been married? My face flushes from confusion as I glare at Rue's question.
Excuse me?
The ring on your paw.
Oh, this?
I pull the small silver ring off my right paw and fidget with it.
No, this is just something I made recently, or I guess bought and then overread the hardware.
So you hacked it.
I suppose you can say that. It's a smart ring. And I'm not married.
A smart ring, huh? And what exactly can it do?
A lot, but I've yet to test most of its features in a more applied setting. It uses the Rapid Understanding and Diagnostic Yield Framework, RUDY for short. I'm designing some blueprints to transform this into a pair of glasses when I get the time.
Wolf nods slowly, not taking his eyes off the road, but I can see some confusion forming on his face with what I just said.
Anyway, what about you? Are you married?
I cringe at myself when I realize I had returned the question out of courtesy without even thinking. No, I'm single. I haven't found the right guy.
I see.
My gaze returns to my paws as I sit quietly, taking the fact that my investigation partner is a homosexual. We can change the topic. I was going to ask earlier, but how'd you find this position at ARC? Because I know we don't advertise our listings online.
Through a friend, I was told ARC needed more accountants.
And what were you doing before, if you don't mind me asking?
Freelance work as a financial advisor. The pay was sporadic, so I wanted something more stable.
Makes sense.
Well, what about you?
He chuckles back and gives me a wink, causing me to fluster. I'd rather not say. It wasn't anything important anyway. I decided to respect his boundaries and not press further. It's 2025. Not 2025. 2024. Why did I say 2025? It's 2024. Fuck. Clearly, I don't have any brain cells left. Girl is in the future. The rest of the drive is quiet and we eventually make our way to the point of interest. Everyone will be gay in 2025. That's the gay agenda. That's the gay agenda. I fucking hate that. Fucking hate that term. The rest of the drive is quiet and we eventually make our way to the point of interest. We're here. We can make the rest of the trek on foot. Follow me. I managed to find a path the other day. There's an opposing mansion off in the distance with copious amounts of greenery protecting the inside from prying eyes. If I'm not mistaken, this street is one of the wealthiest in the city.
I suppose if we have no choice.
The wolf signals me to follow him to a hidden path between some trees, and that's when I realize how big he truly is. Just to stay close to him in case something happens. I've never done anything like this before. As we walk around the perimeter of the mansion's tall metal fencing, safely hidden within the bushes and trees. At first, it appears that no one is home with how vacant the lot looks, but mansions like this can be deceptive. Let's stop here before we get any closer and go over the plan. I'll need you to go through the main gate and ring the intercom, making your way to the main entrance. Based on what I observed the past week, there shouldn't be anyone home until later this evening, besides a tall butler husky named Times, who also watches the cameras. While you're distracting Times, I'll be around the back attempting to gain access through a faulty backdoor gate. I'll make my way up to the room where I suspect Michael was murdered and see what evidence I can gather. Sound good?
You're kidding, right?
No.
Is it the kind of tactic you've been doing for the past couple of months? I'm surprised you haven't jeopardized or got ARC sued yet with how outlandish your methods are. It's uncoordinated, tactless, and downright dangerous.
The wolf shakes his head at me in annoyance. You got any better ideas then?
Well, for starters, even if we distract times, there's no guarantee that our presence will be recorded and found at a later date. Plus, do we even have permission to snoop around people's private property? This seems extremely illegal.
The paperwork has already been cleared to investigate the property.
But...
Rue pauses, looking at the mansion before turning to me. We're technically allowed to enter their house, but we have to make our presence known since there's no other way to go about it.
We're thinking of sneaking into their house to gather evidence. Have all your plans so far been just to brute force things and hope they magically work out? We don't even have an escape plan or a contingency plan in case something goes wrong.
Lets out a long, deep groan and reluctantly nods at me. Save your lecturing. You clearly have something in mind. What is it?
I suggest we swap roles. You should distract Times at the door, and I'll be the one to search the room. For the escape, we can backtrack our steps just to make sure I'm the first one out of the mansion before anything.
What? You don't know the layout of this mansion at all. You'll get lost. Take out my bit flipper and flash my ring at Rue, smirking. And what the hell is that? You got some kind of spy or something?
Just trust me on this, I'll be fine. Besides, may I remind you that you came to me for help?
He strokes his beard before ultimately patting me on the shoulder. Fine. You better impress me then. Follow the gate until it diverges and take a left towards the back door. Based on what I was able to find out, Michael could have been murdered in the third-story master bedroom and bathroom or second-story guest bedroom by the second flight of stairs. You got that?
Yes, third-story master bedroom bathroom, second-story guest bedroom by the second flight of stairs.
Alright then. Keep an eye out on your phone. I'll contact you on the proxy network if anything happens. I'll distract Times for as long as I can at the front. The wolf turns around and returns towards the path's entrance. Let's see where this back door is. I follow a small winding trail between the undergrowth until I hit a clearing, so this must be their backyard. Spot a large gate that separates the fencing. This must be the back door Rue was talking about. Reach into my pockets to fetch the bit flipper, setting it to manual mode and start checking the area for any hits.
As I surmised, this place is riddled with cameras. That's not a problem for me, though.
I aim the bit flipper towards the mansions where most of the spike in activity is by the monitor on the ring and disable them one by one until the area is silent on the radar.
Easy as that, and that wolf is going to storm in there completely detected.
I walk over to the gate and notice that the security latch has been rusted away.
So this is what the wolf meant.
I slip through carefully, trying not to make too much noise as I make a beeline for the back entrance. A small smile spreads across my face as I realize the doorknob is electronically locked. I point the bit flipper that's still in my paws and aim it directly dead center of the handle.
This is too easy.
It's Rue, perfect timing. Approaching the front gate. I hastily tap back a reply, waiting for a signal while watching my surroundings. A few seconds pass before I hear the doorbell ring. That must be my cue. I quickly sneak inside, removing my ring and toggling its settings as I go. Following the long winding hallway, I find a small staircase around the corner.
This must be it.
Scurry up the stairs and fiddle with the ring. We're going to stop it for the ad. Want to break from the ads? Do your no ads dance. Fancy ass house. And we're back. I scurry up the stairs and fiddle with the ring. After a few taps, it starts blinking with various intensity as I aim it down the hallway, pointing at the doors.
Okay, good. The high energy ultrasounds are working. Rudy, measure depth.
I quickly sneak down the hallway, making sure not to get caught as I continue to aim the ring at each door I encounter, light flickering to shades of blue and purple.
How big is this place, rich people? I swear.
After exploring for what feels like minutes, the ring eventually lights up a bright red door at the end of the hallway.
This red, huh? Just how big is the room on the other side?
Try to turn the handle, noticing that it's been locked from the other side.
And a normal lock, too. How annoying.
I rush to my jacket and pull out two small thin picks and slowly work the lock carefully, constantly looking behind me to make sure no one's behind me. And there.
I still got it. Just as I thought, the guest room.
Close the door behind me and change the setting on my ring again.
I haven't tested this mode, but... Rudy, scan the room.
I set the ring down by a cabinet as it does its scan, leaving me time to look around the room.
This is as big as my apartment.
Carefully, I tread around the edge of the room, making sure not to leave any sign of my presence. This room looks clean. Almost too clean. I squat down and look underneath the bed, expecting to discover something vital, but not surprisingly, there's nothing. I pace back to my ring, seeing the flashing screen that signals the scan is complete. Picking it up and pointing it at the headboard, the ring flashes even more. There must be something here. The vibrations continue to go stronger as I walk over until I'm practically standing next to the bed.
Nothing out of the ordinary, besides some questionable stains by the headboard.
I shake my head in disgust.
It was a false alarm. So it must be the upstairs bathroom after all.
Spin around the door, panic sets in as I see the handle start to turn and the door slowly open. I pause, slip into my coat, ready to brandish out the small taser I always keep on myself. Large figure slowly enters the room and a sigh escapes me when I realize it's Rue. What the fuck are you doing here? You scared the fuck out of me.
Me? You're lucky I didn't tase you just now.
Tase, where the fuck did you get to? Anyways, how's the search going? I'm surprised you were able to find this room. Flash ring in my palm and grin at the wolf in earnest.
Of course, it's all thanks to my tech.
The fuck? You're telling me that tiny thing helped you get in here?
Yes, and it also helped me scan the room, which I can say there isn't anything incriminating in here.
Rue scratches his beard, torn between being impressed and confused.
By the way, where's Times? What did you do to them?
Nothing important. Let's just say I took care of him.
You what, Rue? I've never done field work in ARC, but I'm pretty sure from the training I did, we're not supposed to.
Relax, not insane. I didn't hurt the guy. I just created a small distraction outside the mansion. Times is dealing with it right now, but we have to be quick.
Distraction? What did you do?
Wolf turns around, ignoring my question, and backs out into the hallway.
Answer me! We can't just do whatever we want, you know? We could get into serious legal trouble.
Rue stops, his eyes narrowing in annoyance as he stares back at me. We're already inside. Let's just finish this and get out. Besides, all I did was let Times know that there was a fire outside the property. Now, Theo, excuse me, I'm going to check the bathroom upstairs. Feel free to check anywhere else with your ring.
Wait, it'll be quicker if I tag along with the ring.
I follow Rue, but when he doesn't respond back, and I follow behind him as he expertly navigates to the staircase and we make our way up in silence. This way, try to keep up. He is! Like, oh my god. He leads me down another similar hallway before stopping in front of a large wooden door.
This is the bathroom. Let me open it with my... Did you just snap the lock through sheer strength?
This guy's insane, not to mention sloppy leaving paw prints and everything. Get in. I'll trust your gadget for now and assume that whatever we're looking for is probably in here. Let's look around quickly. We don't have much time. Ruth scours the bathroom, carefully examining the walls and floors. Meanwhile, I take out my ring and set it on the counter, deciding to do another scan.
Try not to move so much. I'm going to do another scan.
Wolf's attention bounces between me and my ring skeptically. This better impress me. We stand motionless, waiting for the scan to complete until my ring starts flashing.
Seems like it detected something unusual.
Pick up the ring and it starts to vibrate more and more as I walk towards the bathtub.
And what do we have here?
There are small flecks of light tan powder at the edge of the tub.
Some kind of powder?
I want to lean down and examine it closer when I feel a large paw grip my tail and hold me back.
Hey, what's the big deal?
Wouldn't get close to that if I were you. Turn around and see Rue holding a small pill bottle he had retrieved from the medicine cabinet behind us. I bet you it's this. He lobs the bottle at me and I'm barely able to catch it in them.
Morphine?
Read the bottle and get and see that it's been medically prescribed by a physician. Is your ring sophisticated enough to cross-check the powder with this? If it is, then we got our culprit and enough evidence for our client.
I never implemented a feature like that before, but I guess I can do it manually and see if they have the same biosignature.
I aim my ring at the plastic bottle, trying to scan it first without contaminating the insides.
This should only take a second.
Without warning, Rue lunges towards the window beside me and I drop my ring in shock.
You idiot, what are you doing?
We have to go. He's back early.
Times?
No, it's Grant. We have to go. I look around and notice my ring is nowhere to be found.
My ring, where did it go?
I scan the bathtub fruitlessly. Did it roll into the drain? We don't have time for that. They're pulling up the driveway as we speak. He snatches the bottle, pockets it, and drags me out of the room.
Hey, what about my ring? Where are we going?
A way out. Rue looks around frantically before motioning me to another side of the hall. Don't talk, just follow. We rush over to the other side, but I'm quickly out of breath. Hurry in here. Wolf slams his body into the door, causing it to swing wide open.
Jesus Christ, Rue!
He runs in, leaving me several steps behind.
Wait up!
Seeing me struggling for breath, Rue suddenly scoops me up by the waist.
Hey, don't touch me!
Quit making noise, we don't have time for this. He runs through the bedroom, carrying me on his shoulder, opening another door that leads to the balcony.
You're crazy, you're not going to jump, are you? It's 3 stories down.
There's a swimming pool right below us. Hold on tight.
Wait, I don't know how to swim!
Suddenly, Rue leaps off the balcony. My entire body's lifted off the ground. Panic grips me and I cling tightly to the wolf.
You idiot!
Sudden shock from the cold water sends me in shock and I feel my body freeze and tense up. The weight of my clothes drags me down, hindering my movement as I struggle to stay afloat. There's a sudden cold rush that surrounds me and everything starts to fade. Something heavy presses down on me intermittently. There it is again. What was I going to do? That's right, we were escaping, and that's when we jumped into the pool. Heavy feeling returns, but this time I'm able to open my eyes and see what it is. Everything is a blur at first. Suddenly, black and orange eyes come into focus, inches from my face. His lips press against mine, and my eyes fly open in shock. Rue? Tried to shout, but ended up coughing up water instead, my face heating up. Good, you're awake. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Did you just, you're on top of me, and
CPR, I pulled you out of the water. I've never seen someone sink so fast in the water. We were only in 5 seconds max.
I told you, you brute! I can't swim, but you didn't listen.
Fucking right, it was supposed to be me! Not everyone is as big as you either. Barely able to...
Not everyone is as big as you either. I'm barely able to stand in the shallow areas.
Rue ignores my remark, and only now do I realize we're 100 feet away from the mansion, back by the tree line. I struggle to get up, my clothes made heavy by the water soaked in it.
I can barely move in this.
Look down at my clothes and remember the phone in my pocket.
My stuff is ruined. Where are you going to pay for this?
Rummage out my phone, but stop when I notice my paws are bloodied.
What?
That's when I glance at Rue and see him covering his arm as he jogs down the path.
Rue, explain yourself. What happened?
Try my best to run over, but my pace hampered by my wet clothes. Don't worry about it. Let's just get back to the car. Study his arm and notice a substantial amount of blood seeping through the paw covering the injury. Thank God we're back on the road. Rue looks more annoyed than anything. Digs into his pocket and throws his car keys at me. Small amount of blood covering them. Get us out of here. I'll be fine.
Are you sure you're fine? What kind of escape was that? I almost drowned and you got injured, probably leaving a blood trail too with how badly it's bleeding.
Wolf takes his paw off his arm and I recoil at the side of the cut. I'm fine. It's more long than deep. I don't think I'll need any stitches for this. Definitely need to clean this coat, though. I shake my head disapprovingly as Rue ignores me and gets into the back seat. I hop in, immediately adjusting the seat and mirror. God, is this how much space he takes up? You're going to take off your clothes? You're soaking wet still.
No, I'd rather not.
Catch a glimpse of Rue stripping off his coat in the back seat, my eyes averting when I notice his muscles. That's when I notice a car not too far away in the rearview mirror slowly driving up to us. Wait, they're coming out of the mansion. Panic to start the car and gun down the street as fast as I can.
Shit! I'm going to take you to a friend. They should be able to help us.
The drive takes longer than I'd like, with last-minute detours to lose the car following us.
We're here. It's the building to our left. Let's just hope he's here. Would have called him, but someone decided to flood all my electronics.
Ha! You're welcome for saving your life. I glare at Rue, and the rest of the walk is shrouded in intense silence. So a coffee shop, huh? Can't say I've been to this part of town before.
Yes, they run a coffee shop.
I stare back at Rue's arm, shaking my head at the wound.
How's your arm doing?
Better. It stopped bleeding. He pulls up his sleeve and I recoil away, cringing at the sight of dried blood and stain across his fur and arm. Hang on, I'm adjusting my mic volume. There we go.
Don't show me that. It's repulsive. Follow me and let me introduce you to my friend.
Smells like dark roast. I like this place already.
Ugh, so cold in here. My fur hasn't dried yet.
Spot the puma standing on a step ladder at the back. Looks like he's configuring some kind of security camera on the wall. I walk over, trying not to shiver too much from the cold from the air conditioning blasting right above Dust.
Dust, what are you doing?
Javier, happy to see you again. How have you been? I didn't know you'd be visiting today.
I would have told you if it wasn't for him waterlogging my phone.
Both turned to stare at Rue, who's seated by the counter, pouring himself a cup of coffee. And he is...
Rue. I was assigned to do field work with him earlier.
Start to stammer over my words, feeling my wet clothes slowly draining the heat from me. And what happened there? You're completely wet and shivering. Let me get you a towel.
Ugh, thank you.
Your friend makes good coffee. Takes another sip before cocking a brow at me. So what are we doing here?
Dust knows everyone in town. He...
Here's a towel. I wrap the towel around myself, trying to stop myself from shivering. You might want some of this coffee too. Grab the cup and sit down by the counter, trying to warm myself up. You must be Rue. I'm Dust. Pleasure. How do you like the coffee? It's not bad, brewed just the way I like it. They shake paws before staring back at me. So Dust, Javier says you're able to help us out. That depends. What seems to be the issue? Where to begin? The two start discussing the events that had transpired. The assignment, the mansion, the pool incident. I see. I might have just the thing. One moment. Dust goes to the back, bringing out his small record-keeping book. What's this? I like to note down everything that happens in the city. Keep track of things for my own sake. Interesting. He flips through the pages and passes it over to Rue. You should read that. I think it might be important. Jesus, there's some detailed notes on times. Yes, when I heard that you mentioned a tall, husky butler, I knew it had to be him. Had to be them. Fortunately or unfortunately, I've ended up making a name for myself in the high-end district of town, and I frequently get customers from all walks of life coming here. According to your notes, Times had spoken to you sometime last month about Grant's morphine purchase. Yes, we often exchange small talk, and he sometimes purchases coffee beans from me. He had mentioned about delivering Grant to the hospital and that he was prescribed medication for his fracture. The dates check out. I only started monitoring Grant last week, but I did notice a particular limp. The wolf takes out the bottle of morphine from his pocket and tosses it to dust. This would be it. We still don't know if it's morphine in the bottle, but based on the label, it pretty much is. You mentioned this was found in Michael's system? Yep, but medics ignored it for an overdose coupled with the carbon monoxide poisoning suicide in his garage. That is tragic. You know, we could use someone like you at ARC. What do you think about joining? No, I would need to politely decline. Javier's had brought this up to me before as well. Like I said to him, running a coffee shop like this has always been my dream. How about working on the side with us? With your connections, it might prove useful for a lot of these cases like you just saw. I'll think about it. The wolf studies the book some more before sliding it back to dust. Send us a copy of that page. I think it's more than enough proof to tie Michael's murder to Grant. Will do. Glad to be been of help, and... Oh dear, what happened to your sleeve? Caught my arms against a barbed fence trying to escape. Well, that's not good.
Of course it's not good. I cannot believe how reckless and brash your plans are. You're gonna get yourself killed at some point, running around leaving tracks and disregarding safety.
Try to control my stammering, but my body is absolutely freezing at the moment.
Ugh.
That's Javier for you. Pay him no mind. He's like that to everyone, even me. Let me get you some alcohol and a cloth for that scratch, though. Noted. Although he has a point. Maybe I should learn to be more like you, Javier.
You think I can believe how much drunk because of you?
My mind flashes back to the CPR Rue performed on me, and I feel my face flush.
But I guess everything worked out in the end. You don't think Grant's going to call the police on us if he finds out?
No, we have some immunity from the search warrant we got. Let's just exclude the part where we jumped into their pool.
Good thing I disabled their cameras back there.
Perfect. Well then, case closed, though all thanks to you, Dust. The wolf pats my shoulder, groaning as I'm too cold to retort to the unwanted physical contact. You too, Javier. I'm impressed. Maybe you should do field work more often. I think we make a good team. I roll my eyes at the wolf, trying not to become flustered.
I'll think about it.
Wolf shakes his paw a couple times, wiping it on his leg. You know, your clothes are still damp. I'd take them off if I were you. It's not helping your chills.
I'm not cold. Ugh.
Right. I can feel my face blush as ruined dust tower over me, both of them exchanging glances and staring me down. Javier's not comfortable with his body. He's always like this, ever since he was a kid. Don't worry about it. It's almost kind of cute.
Hey! It's not cute.
I see. Say, you guys have been longtime friends or something? Yes, since childhood. We grew up on the same street back in Mexico and eventually moved here together.
Not like I had a choice. Dust kept bothering me about every week, asking me to fix his stuff.
You always offered to help even after we moved. I appreciate the extra help from you. I cover up my face with the towel as I feel it redden and blush. So the fox is the soft side too? I would have never guessed.
What do you mean by that? Ugh.
The two men chuckle at me while I try my best to look unfazed. You'll get used to it. I hope he wasn't too much.
Too much?
Honestly, he did a lot of the heavy lifting. I was surprised. Never seen gadgets like his before. I look away, trying my best to hide my smile underneath the towel. That's Javier for you. They continue to talk, the topic changing too fast for me to keep up in my current state. Eventually, I lose focus on their conversation as I struggle to keep myself from shivering. Hey, if you don't mind, Rue, you're tall enough to reach that camera back there, right? Could you help me reattach it back to his frame? Sure. Aw. This one. That's the one. Wow, look at you. You're so tall you don't even need the stepladder.
Ugh.
There, it's back on. The light just turned blue. I think you accidentally pressed the manual photo mode in the process. Why is that a thing? Don't ask me. Ask Javier. He's a tech guy.
Security feature. Ugh.
A little more to the left, and there, you got it.
Ugh.
Christ, take off your goddamn clothes. You're going to get sick.
No, I'm fine. I'm... Ugh. Ugh. Ah! Okay. You win, I'll take off my shirt.
Girl is cutely dying.
A body has been discovered!
Well, obviously we're going to be doing all the endings. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night. and I will see you all tomorrow.